Do you know who the person was that scouted him? Val McDermid, the famous crime writer's father. He was responsible for scouting Jim Baxter and getting him to join Wraith Rovers.
There you go. It's a mystery. There you go. Jim Baxter's speech, he did a dinner at Kilsyth, and I was there in my hometown. Jim Baxter was the star guest, right? So you give him the big intro, what would this guy be worth if he was around today, blah, 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 build him up, and he leans down and he goes, I'll be back in 5 minutes, Phil. That was him away for a pee, right? And he goes and he shakes hands with everybody, and you're still talking, vamp away, and he goes away and comes back, and he goes, that's me back now. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Baxter, right? He stands up, he gives like a 10-minute standing ovation, speaks for 5 minutes, gives a 10-minute standing ovation, sits down, and that was that. He just had that
James
thing.
Curran Baxter.
He's Jim Baxter. It doesn't need to. It just needs to be there, and that thing. You know, all the guys that met him were just, there was no mobiles, it was, you know, Instamatic shots and all that. I've got a picture of maybe Jim up the back and all that. But there are a few of them that they didn't need to speak, they didn't need to tell you, just, you know, they're who they are, and that's it. And he was one of them.
So, and that boy I met at the start of this programme in Aberdeen was Jim Baxter. He'd never heard of Jim Baxter, but he thought Barry Ferguson was in.
He'd never heard
He's
of
a bike.
I mean, the thing is, I worked with a guy at the post office, a big Hibs fan, he was a good bit older than me. He always maintained, he said he thought Baxter was overrated. He says he was a great player, but he was overrated and he was lazy. And the thing that we do is we look back and we think that, you know, like, for me, like, Jinky was always brilliant. He wasn't always brilliant. Willie Henderson wasn't he always brilliant and all that. But you take it as a kind of overall, don't you? You don't sort of, you can't pick and choose that.
And probably as a player, Baxter was lazy. But Andy Ritchie was lazy.
Aye.
But just give him the ball.
It's for that wee moment of magic that they're capable of, kind of thing.
Would you have somebody who runs a bit all day with no ability, or somebody who's got one?
See Baxter now would be right, Jim. I want you to track back and do this and do that and do this and that. And that, you know, football back then, the Maverick thing.
The player you love is the one that kind of half gets you at your seat.
Aye, the one when he gets the ball, you think, here we go. This is some. He can do some.
Laudrup used to do that. You watch Laudrup, you'd be like, oh, here we go.
And the whole play, like when the ball went into the box and you saw, I always thought when Larson kind of hunched, he looked like the Predator, you know, with the dreadlocks and all that. And the number of times, as you said, Johnny, like you'd be watching Sky Sport and the thing, and it would be like all the games were finished, and you'd go, oh, Celtic have dropped a point, and it'd go, ding, Larson.
Every time.
Ridiculous, you know. But you just have guys like that, and defenders are going, this is round about the time he scores, and he scored, you know. But special players are always, and it doesn't matter who you support. You've got to admire these guys, you know. That's what I think, anyway. You know. Yeah. Well, and that's why dinners, the ex-players always get the advantage because they did it and we didn't. You know, that's the thing.
Aye, well, he was some man, Jimmy Baxter.
Right.
There's also another Jimmy Baxter who blessed the Scottish game, who was a chairman of East Fife. Lovely man. I'm way a tan. Jim Baxter, he was an absolute charming gentleman. I think Mr. Baxter's now passed away as well. Anyway, there's no point of nostalgia.
We've been down that road many times.
Forget the ball, get on with the game. Subscribe now. And remember, it costs you nothing.